And, well, I think some of it's just early, you know. I was telling Joe, now that these things are out there, I'm expecting a call from Ross Jones at any minute, you know.
Madam Clerk, are you ready?
Just settle down one or so. See how.
Okay,
Yeah.
it's 10 o'clock. We're gonna call the Committee on Audit to order.
It's us.
Madam Clerk, please call the roll.
Commissioner Colleen.
Here.
Commissioner Garza has requested an excuse. Commissioner Clark Coleman. Commissioner Kenizik. Chair Dobb.
Here.
You have a quorum present.
Thank you. Next item.
B, Chairwoman's remarks.
I have none. Next item.
C, approval of the August 21st, 2024 meeting minutes.
Is there a motion to approve the meeting minutes?
Approval of the minutes, Madam Chair.
Is there support? Been moved by Commissioner Colleen, supported by Commissioner Kenizik. Any discussion on the meeting minutes? Hearing none. All of those in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Anyone opposed? Anyone wish to abstain? Motion passes. Next item.
D, unfinished business. There is none listed.
Next item.
Item 1, under new business, forwarding a final copy of the corrective action plan and Auditor General's assessment for the Wayne County Department of Management and Budget, Procurement Division, Sole and Comparable Source Procurements, Performance Engagement Report.
Thank you. Turn it over to you, Marcy.
Marcy Coral, Auditor General, and if guests and our staff can introduce themselves.
John Kellett, Audit Manager.
Sandra Allen, Legislative Auditor 3.
Arthur Walker.
Is your microphone on?
Arthur Walker, Procurement Division Director, Management Budget Department.
What you have in front of you this morning is our, the corrective action plan, the Auditor General's assessment. This was for the Department of Management Budgets, Procurement Division, Sole and Comparable Source Performance Engagement. I'm going to turn it over to Sandra Allen and she'll go through the presentation.
Thank you, Marcy. Good morning, everyone. Our initial performance report had 4 recommendations. During our review of management's corrective action plan, we assessed all 4 recommendations were in process of being implemented. Our assessment is as follows. For recommendation 2022-01A, develop formal written comprehensive policies and procedures to require formal documentation of the due diligence performed to justify the sole or comparable source procurement and approval by the procurement director that the procurement is indeed a sole or comparable source procurement. We obtained a copy of the procedures provided by procurement management and the accompanying checklists for the sole and comparable source procurements. We reviewed the procedures and confirmed the procedures do require documentation of the due diligence to be performed to justify the sole or comparable source procurements. Further, we reviewed the checklists that are completed and signed by the individual performing the due diligence and the approval by the procurement director attesting to the due diligence performed.
I can just add to the due diligence that's going to be performed and documented. It will be part of procurement packages that will come to the commission.
Okay. So when we first started discussing this, there was going to be a time lapse of when, these processes were put in place versus the items that we're seeing in the commission. Is that still going to be happening, or should we start seeing this now?
You should start seeing within the next week or so, the
Okay.
checklist included with all
Okay,
packages.
so there might be a few items that are coming through before we started this, but
Yes.
great. Continue. Please proceed.
Thank you. Item 2022-01B, any future procurement systems should include a mechanism to document the due diligence performed to support the sole or comparable source procurement along with the approval of the procurement director. We confirmed with procurement management the county's new Oracle Cloud ERP procurement module will include all the processes necessary to satisfy the procurement ordinance, including electronic sign-off on all relevant levels, including procurement. The system will also include all supporting documentation necessary for approval, including a checklist documenting the due diligence performed within procurement and approved by the procurement director. We reviewed the checklist and it contains the steps taken to confirm that procurement is indeed a sole or comparable source procurement.
And is procurement using Oracle now? Everything is,
No, we are currently in the design and testing phase.
Okay.
We anticipate implementation in April of 2025.
okay. Commissioner Clean? And
Yeah,
then
thank you, Madam Chair. And you took my first question on the last one. But Oracle, and according to this, we're looking at April of next year. So this is actually going to be a two-step process then. I'll ask the Auditor General, madam, that we should start seeing now in the current system. But then we're going to have to see if the Oracle system come next spring or early next summer is also doing the same job, correct?
Correct. And recommendation number 1A, that was for the manual process that's going on now
Now.
that comes through the system where the documentation will be part of the package. And then the second one is so that the same process is implemented into the new Oracle
Okay.
system.
So we're gonna have to see how it changes now, but we're also gonna have to look at this April, May, June of next year when Oracle comes up.
Correct. And that's why all these recommendations are in process and will require a further follow-up report once everything is implemented back after April of next year.
Just wanted clarification on that. Thank you. Thank you, Madam Chair.
Commissioner Clark Coleman?
Yeah, and I'm not sure that he can answer the question that I have. Prior to Oracle coming on board, employees received an email on their payroll. And so they knew what was coming and they could look at it and all that. That doesn't happen anymore. Is that temporary or will they once again start sending notices? And employees have asked me that. If the county will be able to continue sending out emails with your payroll statement.
And that would probably be a question for Personnel and Human Resources, because my understanding was that you go on into the system yourself and look at your pay remittance, whether that'll change in the future like it was before, where they emailed them, that would be up to the Personnel Director and the Treasurer's Office.
Okay, you were shaking your head.
No, I was just nodding in agreement.
Mhm.
To my understanding, that's how the process is right now.
So it's going to be on the employee to
actually go into the-
go into a system to look at it. Now, I noticed that the retirement system, they've gone back to sending out mailers. They mail you a statement. So I didn't know if, well, a lot of the retirees really don't know how to go into the Oracle to get their statement. So I just wondered if this was something that was temporary, both for retirees as well as for current employees receiving some documentation that of their pay statement.
I think with Marcy, what Marcy said, that might be that's a question for HR
Okay.
personnel and
I
maybe
wasn't sure.
through Government Operations Committee.
Right.
Yeah.
I wasn't sure if it was, but I thought I'd throw it out there.
Yeah. Okay, let's proceed.
All right, recommendation 2022-02A, develop formal written comprehensive policies and procedures that include steps for processing sole and comparable source procurements, including a checklist of required documents. We obtained and reviewed the procedures and the checklist for processing sole and comparable source procurements. Based on our review, the procedures do include the steps for processing the sole and comparable source procurements. We also obtained and reviewed the documentation that will be used to ensure all required documents are included in the procurement package.
Okay.
Next.
Go to the next one.
And the last one, 2022-02B, develop any future procurement systems such that all documentation related to a procurement is electronically maintained in one location and readily available. We confirmed with procurement management, all documentation necessary for review and approval at each step will be contained in the county's new Oracle Cloud ERP procurement module. Some procurement file documentation, which would not be necessary for approvals, may be contained in SharePoint.
Any questions?
Our overall conclusion, if the planned actions are implemented as described, the actions appear to sufficiently address the recommendations. However, a follow-up review may be necessary in the near future to verify that the described actions have actually occurred. We recommend the corrective action plan and Auditor General's assessment for the Wayne County Department of Management and Budget Procurement Division, sole and comparable source procurements be forwarded to the Wayne County Commission for receipt and filing.
Thank you. And yes, what Commissioner Colleen mentioned earlier, let's plan on revisiting this. I don't know if we want to do it April or May to see where we are with the transition and then
Right.
how everything is.
I would say some time to let the system get
Yeah.
get everything done.
Yep.
And I just wanted to thank Mr. Walker and the rest of the procurement department for all their help in completing this corrective action plan. I think we're in the right direction.
All right. Any last questions, discussion? Can I get a motion to receive and file?
Yeah, Madam Chair, I'll move that we receive this and forward it to the full commission. Receipt and filing.
Supported by Commissioner Clark Coleman. All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Anyone opposed? Any wish to abstain? All right, motion passes. Next item.
F, such other matters as may be properly submitted before the committee.
There are
Quick
none.
meeting.
Next item.
G, public comments.
Anyone here who wishes to make a public comment to the Committee on Audit? If you're in person, on the phone, or on Zoom? Did we get any emails?
No emails were received.
If you're on Zoom or on the phone, please unmute yourself for public comments. Last call for public comments. Hearing none. Next item.
Adjournment.
Is there a motion to adjourn?
So move, Madam Chair.
Without objection, we are